Ooh, you got me just so crazy over you. We love Madonna, we love Madonna, we love Madonna, we love Madonna.
You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna, Louise, Veronica Ciccone. Hey, everybody, it's Ben.
Every little thing, Ben, that you say and do, I'm hung up. I'm hung up on you. This is Liberty, everybody. How are you?
I was like, where have we gone today? Like, we've Liberty's just singing a song for us.
I'm just trying to cope, guys. I'm just trying to cope.
Well, hey, everybody. This is Stefan. Thanks for joining us for another episode of MLVC. Ben, Liberty, great to see you again. I know you've got busy lives and busy schedules, and life has been crazy since the fame you've gotten off of the Who's That Girl episode. I mean, I know the phone's just ringing off the hook.
Yeah, I've been overwhelmed.
I have gotten more DMs and messages about that episode than anything I've probably done, even in my own writing career. It's rather frightening.
And they want more, right? They loved it,
They
right?
do. They very much enjoyed the episode.
I mean, I'm like 78 pages into my dissertation on who the girl actually is. So, I'll let you guys know when I really find out, but I'm still trying to find out who that girl is.
Well, and Ben, you and I have to brainstorm our script. And we talked about it offline. We were going to develop the rest of Nikki's Revenge, so we got to make that happen because the people have spoken. They want to know what happens.
Yeah, I think it's got to have something to do with Nikki Sue Trott.
Totally. I think there's going to be a whole segment of the script where she has to adopt that persona. Like she goes undercover or something, and that's the persona that I love it.
Oh, she's going to hide out with some of my relatives back in Appalachia, and I'll get permission to film it there, so it'll be authentic. It'll be legit.
Perfect. I cannot wait.
Well, we have been so busy with special guests and special episodes lately. MLVC has not had a proper catch-up on all things Madonna, but we all know Madonna has been super busy, and we'll take you there. Actually, sorry, Liberty, can you do that for me? Can I get a little? We'll take you there.
We'll take you there.
Thank you. It's much better. Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, don't ask me to do that.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't going to, Ben. But we've got a lot to discuss today, so don't just stand there. Let's get to it. It's time for
This Week in Ciccone.
See, I get what I want.
one of the big items on the agenda is the return of Pink Donna. So, hot off her return from her Italian birthday extravaganza, Madonna decided to ditch the blonde and head back to the pandemic favorite color of pink. Yes, Pink Donna is back. Is everyone happy about her return?
Very happy.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, it's like a sunset, really. You look at her and it's just, these gorgeous hues, pink, and just a beautiful vision of a woman.
Absolutely. My favorite thing about Pink Donna is she's ditching those same old blonde wigs, and I swear she moves like herself more when she's not wearing, because she always plays with the wigs.
Yeah.
But when that footage from that concert she was at last weekend, when it was like very strikingly pink, and she was moving and like being herself in public and in this setting. And I was like, I've never worn a wig other than a few Halloween costumes, but even I know when I've had wigs on, you just want to play with it.
By wig, you're talking about her extensions, the extensions.
Whatever her hair system is that's on her
system.
And I'm somebody with big curly hair, and so I understand the urge to play with your hair, but it's even more so when you're wearing fake parts to it. So it totally sort of recenters the way that she moves, because she moves with her whole person. That's one of the things I think that contributes so greatly to her artistic output. Mm-hmm. And so when she goes to the pink, I feel like she comes back to that. That's what I like about it.
Well, I also like that the Pink Donna sort of forces her to deal with her real hair length. So it's not this super long down to her waist length of hair. It's a bob. It's wonderful to see her with a different length of hair. She's also been working that side part. God bless her. Pink Donna, thank you for that side part. And yes, she was looking very bouffant over at that concert. Who was that concert again? It was
Rama, I believe, was the artist's name.
I didn't know him.
I'm blanking on that. Yeah, I don't know. But apparently, according to Madonna, as we all saw in the video, he's a great entertainer.
Yes,
So
he's a wonderful performer.
That's a wonderful compliment from the Queen.
Absolutely. And I mean, I agree with the shorter pink hair. It's really cute. It does give a lightness to her and a little bit more playfulness, perhaps. And then, with those long blonde extensions, because I love a long blonde look,
Oh, honey, let's get unconscious, please.
Yes. A
Bring it.
bedtime story, gorgeous.
You know
right?
it.
But, when your life is a little bit in transition, you kind of going through it, you always want to cut your hair and you want to color it somehow. I'm a woman. I know how this works.
I've only changed my hair color once, and that was a terrible mistake that we won't discuss tonight.
Can you tell us the color, Ben?
Oh, I went platinum, full on, express yourself, breathless Mahoney blonde.
Ooh, and with those curls, I bet you look so
Yeah,
That
cute.
would be a look.
It was a look. A look. Not to be repeated.
Liberty, have you ever colored your hair a color that you would never do again?
Nothing unnatural. I mean, one time a few years ago, I did the underside pink, but it was just temporary. So maybe a week. And
Like a Kool-Aid color and it just washed out?
yeah, I think it's called colorista or something like that. And I had platinum hair. So it was so cute. I've always wanted pink hair, but I really can't have it because of being a school teacher.
I think I've told this story on the podcast before. I had platinum blonde hair for a while, and the week of her Truth or Dare movie premiere, when she premiered Goth Donna, I was like, I'm gonna dye my hair black before she does it because I want to do it before she does it. And literally my hair appointment was the day after Goth Donna appeared. And I was like, fuck, now everyone's going to think that I'm doing it because of her. Nobody thought that, but it was mostly just because black is a terrible hair color for me to have. I was totally washed out. It was not, well, because Madonna, she can put makeup and smoky eyes. Stefan was a high school student and pale from the winter, and it was just not a good look.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm there with you, Ben. It's not to be repeated.
Yeah, not again.
But speaking of Madonna's side part and beautiful hair, Madonna's 50 questions video. So Madonna had asked us for questions, and we finally received the replies in the form of a wonderful video. She did a send-up of Vogue magazine's famous 73 questions video series, and it was glorious. She was effervescent, flirty, hello, side part. And I mean, she looked gorgeous. It was amazing to see. What were some of the standout questions and answers for you? I mean, I've got my list, but what was some of the stuff that...
Well, that one was marked. I mean, she said it several times. So we know that is a very important... Yeah, it basically infiltrates every section of her life. I was enthralled. I loved that. First of all, I think it's really awesome because actually I knew a friend of mine on Facebook, his question was asked, and she answered about which was her favorite of the 50 number ones, the Finally Enough Love.
Finally enough love.
So he asked that and she said, Die Another Day, I think. So he was super excited about that. And I love that. I love to see fans getting excited and getting sort of a little recognition from Madonna and feeling, a little bit of a connection to her. Obviously, we could have asked 150 questions. Maybe we would have gotten 110 sex answers, but but that's okay. I loved when they asked what she thinks she would be doing if she wasn't, this mega pop star Madonna. And she said she would be a teacher, which I think is so...
Well, and look at that, Liberty. Here you are wanting to be a pop star, and Madonna. So in the sliding doors version of your
Right.
life, somewhere it's the Freaky Friday, you and Madonna are going to switch lives at some point. So get ready.
I wish a motherfucker would.
Pink hair at last.
You're going to have to deal with the twins. Just get ready.
She's got lots of practice. I mean, she has young people around her all the time, right? So
Yep.
Ben, what were some of your favorite questions?
My favorite question, honestly, was what was her favorite snack? That was such classic old school Madonna, and it struck me because then it reminded me of why I enjoyed the entire video, and it was the humor.
Yep.
Like she was making fun of the Vogue, she was making fun of herself, she was kind of making fun of the fans, but she was also making fun of her legacy and her catalog and just all of it. It was all in the spirit of fun. And that actually, I mean, that was legit my favorite question, just because it was the most her answer.
Yep.
It like in the whole scope of things, but I just really loved the humor. It was so nice to see funny Madonna again. I was like, yes, we've missed you.
Yeah, and it's true. She's got funny humor when she wants to, and I loved her attitude. It was very quintessential Madonna. I think obviously people were gagging over the fact that Madonna's gagging to work with Britney again. Obviously, if she was ever going to revisit a style of music on a future album, she said house. I said, yes, amen, thank you. Her favorite video to create was Take a Bow, which I thought was wonderful. Oh, and I love Take a Bow because one of my favorite things in Take a Bow is when Madonna runs. Same thing with like Substitute for Love. She's running. And I loved that we got a little running moment in the 50 Questions video. So she was running from the camera for a little bit. And I thought, yes, Madonna, just run. I don't know why I love when she runs. It's fun.
it's inspiring, I think.
She has good form as a runner.
Well, she's used to it. She used to run all the time in Central Park. So.
Yeah.
She alluded to her favorite alter ego and ours, Mistress Dita. Plug. If you haven't listened to Mistress Dita by Stefan, your host, then go listen to that right now. It's a good song, by the way.
It's a bop.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's good. And I thought most telling was when she was asked, what was your most difficult album you've ever made? And she answered Rebel Heart due to too many guest appearances. And I thought, well, whose fault was that, Madonna?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that wasn't fully her fault. We remember her comment. What was that on Guy Osiris' page or something on Instagram where she's like, yeah, you just don't let me, like, you make me go in with all of these writers
or something. Yes.
That was Interscope was the one that they didn't like the results of the camps with the Avicii team. So that then led to all this other stuff, but she wanted to work with Diplo and all those people. I just think it got out of control.
Yeah, but that's what happens, when things get a little bit corporate, let's say, then there's very little personality in a lot of it, and it becomes no longer your baby. I feel for her, even though I do love the Rebel Heart record, but most of them are not the ones.
I love it, but I will never forgive Interscope for allowing Wash All Over Me to be turned into a ballad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Such a bummer.
Come on.
I'm not going to lie. Oh God, should I admit this on a recording? I still jam to the leaks, like the 36 track leak, the iconic leak that had all the songs together and like all the original versions, like all those Avicii songs, like Revolution and God Is Love and the original Wash Over Me.
Two Steps Behind.
Oh my goodness. Those songs
Beautiful
were so
Scars.
fantastic.
So
and
good.
then they just got ruined.
Yeah. And I mean, really, some of her lyrics on those like pushed out songs to me are just the most poignant. I just absolutely love her messages.
I'm telling you, when Rebel Heart gets re-released somewhere down the road, we'll get some of those finished versions, hopefully. I'm praying for the dance remix version of Wash All Over Me one day.
One day.
Oh, I want the original house version of Living for Love before Diplo put all those weird things on it.
I'm happy with the version that's on Finally Enough Love.
Finally enough love.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
do
good.
like that one.
With a little M
like
neck.
it.
That's so good. But that's another
Anyway,
episode.
sidebar.
Another big ordeal that happened this week in Ciccone was Madonna's return to bleached eyebrows. So we have not seen Madonna with bleached eyebrows since 1994, and they are back with a vengeance. Obviously, we all know bleached eyebrows were not invented by Madonna. That's something that was done back in the late 1500s during the Elizabethan era. Then there was a wave of them again in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Obviously, Madonna famously donned them in 1994 around her bedtime story era. Side note, Dita shaved her eyebrows. They were not bleached.
Yep.
So,
Clarify.
yeah, just want to clarify. But she was always doing stuff like this back in the 1990s. I felt what I love most about the bleached eyebrows is I feel like the past 10 years or so, her style, she's been sort of playing it a little safe. And now it's as if like Pink Donna has unleashed the beast, and now she's like, I'm just going to go and bleach my eyebrows." And what do you think? I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. What are your thoughts?
I want to see it outside of the red wig from the pictures that we saw on Twitter, because I love it when she bleaches those eyebrows. And then it shifts with what she pairs it with. So it was very interesting that it was paired with that red wig that she's wearing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So I'm very curious to see if she'll dye them back before she goes out in public with the pink hair again, because I would really like to see it with the pink. I'm just like, oh, that'll be really dramatic. Like that's almost Bjork level dramatic.
Yes, that's what that's exactly what I was thinking. Is that it's just so. Not scary, but it's such a dramatic look when you take her eyebrows away.
When you kind of actually made me start thinking a little bit. I mean, over the last, let's say 10 years or so, with Instagram really kind of infiltrating our beauty standard, and how we find what we find beautiful. Eyebrows have been extremely important in that story. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but Instagram brows is a whole thing. And
really?
I love, yes, I'm telling you, like, this is what, literally, if I had left my brows the way that I was born with them, I would be bleach eyebrow Dita right now, because I have no eyebrows, but I microblade them because I want to have Instagram brows all the time. Well, now she's kind of going against trend, which is her standard as far as, like, you know, when she's ultra rebel, when she's really like pushing that envelope towards Madonna art, je suis l'art. She goes for it. And I think that this is a really important statement. I hope she actually keeps them for a little longer, because I think it is countering this constant pressure for some sort of face shape, some sort of eyebrow look,
the homogeneity of it all. Yeah,
exactly. That's
and now look, Kim Kardashian on the cover of Interview magazine with bleached brows. Yeah. So it's like Madonna knows what's up.
But those brows were clearly like then photoshopped in. Like, it'll be interesting to see how, if it becomes a trend, like how will it look with like the face tuning software that everybody uses for their Instagram photos and like that, because it's going to totally warp the face shape. And so part of me is like, okay, well, that's almost like a declaration of like, no, I am not, as Liberty was talking, I'm not going to go along with that. And like, I'm going to do something that's so drastic. The algorithm is going to be like, what is this? And like pixelate me or something. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think it's a good thing. And I would love to see more risks. I would love to see a little bit more, you know, just sort of push that I don't conform. What makes me special is my weird decisions. Or weird, I mean, is relative. But what I mean is my decisions about how I portray myself and what the image is that you see versus the image of the story, like the story that's inside of me that I have to tell. I think it's awesome.
It's worth noting that it seems like it's coming from a point of having fun versus being defensive. which long-term fans will always know, like when the defensive crouch happens and certain creative decisions happen, you're like, but clearly this is like an up moment and fun and happy and like living in this sort of, I wouldn't even say nostalgia, but I would say like self-celebration.
Totally.
Sort of like, holy crap, I did that and everybody appreciates it and I appreciate it too. Let's have fun. So I think that brings a different energy to it as well.
Yeah, and it's a good point I wanted to bring up about appreciating what she does when she's doing it. When she shaved her eyebrows for Dita, or when she bleached her brows back in those days of the 90s, I hated it. I was like, what are you doing, Madonna?
Really?
I just wanted Vogue Madonna for some reason. I was just obsessed with like, that's Madonna. That's how she has to look all the time and anything different. And I was just like so upset when she shaved her brows and bleached her brows. Like anytime she was doing something sort of like off kilter, I just was like massively upset. Now I'm like, oh my God, this was heaven. How did I not appreciate this at the time? So now that she's doing it, I'm like, yes, Madonna, thank you. But there's a legion of people tweeting and Instagramming me saying how much they hate it. And why would she do this? And she looks awful. And just like totally bashing her. And I'm sort of like feeling defensive because I don't understand why they wouldn't appreciate it.
But this goes back to what Liberty was just saying about what's happened to beauty standards and sort of like this weird hegemonic standardization of what people are supposed to look like, how everyone has gotten the Kardashian face that's like, you know, shaped
Even Gwen,
like
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
Oh, Gwen, I know. I thought it was a Kardashian.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one. I love No Doubt. But
Me too.
yeah, it's that whole crazy, like candy heart shaped face and just, oh my goodness. Like, let's have people looking like themselves.
Yeah.
And different.
To express who you are. And even if you do make different decisions, but not to sort of align yourself with something that you aren't for the sake of selling something. And I think that it's difficult, especially for Madonna, who faces so much ageism and so much, it doesn't matter what picture she posts. People are always going to say one thing on her comments, and then they're going to turn around and say another thing in a fan page. And I've seen it lots of times where it's like, oh my gosh, I love you so much and you're so wonderful on her Instagram. And then they go right to the Madonna fan page and say something like, I cannot believe, why is she wearing that? Or why does she do XYZ thing? It's like, it's not for you to decide, A. And two, let her show us who she's done it for 40 years and we've been okay. We've all survived and the world has changed and it's okay. And everything's going to be fine if we just go with it. If we go with her.
Mm-hmm. Everybody keep it together. Trust me, I want to bleach my brows and bleach my hair and just like do a whole changeover because of this. I was like, yes, Madonna, inspire me, even though I'm trying to hold on to whatever hair I've got left, but do it while I have it, right?
Yeah.
If I wasn't growing out a hair donation, you might be able to tempt me. No, I'm just joking. I would not.
Oh, is that why you're growing your hair out?
Oh, yeah. This will be like my 5th time donating. So,
nice.
How long do you have to get it?
About 14 inches. I'm at about 8 now. It just doesn't look it because it's so curly.
Oh, so it's going to be like.
Oh, yeah. When it's wet, it's down to here already.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you will do like a whole like breathless Mahoney Bob soon.
Oh, I practically already could if I teased it out. It would totally be breathless.
Actually, I imagine by the time it gets to 14 inches, it'll probably be more like VMA's Express Yourself, sort of shaggy bob.
Yeah,
that'll be a good look. Make sure you start rehearsing that choreography, Benjamin. I want a TikTok of you doing that choreo.
I don't have TikTok. I'm not about to do that, but I do know that Express Yourself MTV Video Awards choreo. Just so we're clear,
iconic.
Duh. That and the fever from Girly Show. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, you had alluded to this additional point for this week in Ciccone. The hung up remix video with Tokischa in Washington Heights. So Madonna did a guerrilla style video shoot the other night, filming on the streets of Washington Heights at 175th and Audubon Avenue. Her and Tokischa can be seen. I hope I'm saying that right. Not that Tokischa's listening and she won't correct me, but Tokischa can be seen in fan footage writhing around, dancing, and having fun with a crowd on the street of the rainy night in New York. She's wearing a wig. I like that it's auburn and a fun throwback to the Confessions era, which is so smart considering it's a hung up remix video.
Yes, I
also
like
giving
that.
me a little bit of Hollywood music video vibes.
Yes.
I love when I love that she's experimenting like this, and I thought it's great. Did you see the footage, both of you?
Oh,
Yes. I like the
Yeah.
neon. I like that she brought back the neon outfit that she performed in from the Pride show.
Yes.
And that'll really.
that was yellow though,
It
wasn't it?
was yellow, but I mean the neon. She's in a different color.
She's keeping in the Trapper Keeper realm.
Yes, it's in that Trapper Keeper neon sort of mid
Highlighter.
Yeah.
I feel like
Which
it's got this green from Borderline video. Like there's like a
Oh,
green
totally.
neon.
Those
yes,
shoes,
that
the lips.
neon, yes. But which is interesting because then the styling is like very early 90s. I mean, the wig with the red and the bleached eyebrows is very like Stephen Meisel photo shoot in Vogue with Evangelista circa 1994. Like I was totally here for it. It's interesting. My partner used to live up in that neighborhood. When I saw the footage, I was like, I know exactly where they are. I have walked through there so many times because there's a cute little coffee shop and then there's a place called Carrot Top right down the street from there that has really good. They're supposedly known for their carrot cake, but I actually like them better for some of their muffins are just like amazing.
I didn't realize you were a baking connoisseur, Ben.
Oh, I eat way too many pastries. Croissants from Balthazar. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, I could go on a donut pub crawl in New York City. Don't get me started.
Oh, that little place on 14th Street and 7th. Oh.
It used to be good donut pub. It's not anymore. It's changed.
See,
now
some of it's pretty good.
I can only do donuts in New York, in Brooklyn. I have to go to Dunwell or I have to go to Peter Pan.
I've been there. They're pretty good.
They are fucking good. But this is not a baking show. Although Madonna was definitely burning up on the streets, so much so that the neighbors called the cops because she was creating too much noise. And
I saw that in the
apparently
post. Yeah.
They were there apparently filming for about a half an hour.
That's
and
it.
then they had to leave and they went and filmed somewhere else inside. I assume we'll be seeing that video in the coming weeks when it premieres.
Can't wait.
Hopefully
Can't
soon.
wait.
That shouldn't be too long because isn't that total remix only like barely 3 minutes? It's much shorter than the original original track.
It's not long. It'll be
I
like
like it,
the,
though.
like
It's
the Frozen
fun.
remix video. You know, it'll be something.
Or Material Girl. Those are fun.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what I'm really liking is this sort of debauchery Madonna where it's like like in the paper mag and she's just like going to these like dirty parties where people are just like all over each other doing things that I cannot explain to my children and just touching each other and like just being total debauchery, right? I want to go to this party.
Can we for a moment though talk about how fascinating it is that the sex book came out 30 years ago and was considered like debauchery and she was licking parts of bodies and 30 years later she's still doing that and our culture has not changed enough that people still got their hankles up about it. I'm just like, wow.
It's hard to tell if it's just because it's Madonna now or if it's because of the acts that we witness, you know, or the photos themselves. I mean, I almost want to say that if it had been Rihanna or something, people wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, okay,
you're
so what?
Right. You're probably right.
It's Madonna. Therefore, it must be
it must mean something
Yes.
that more than what it does, and in that meaning it has to offend people because she's 60 whatever, this or this or that. Yeah, because if you scroll through Twitter or Instagram, you see way worse from like 18-year-olds and nobody bats an eye as they're trying to sell you a supplement, you know.
Please, those same people that are complaining about Madonna licking a swarthy 24-year-old in a club surrounded by other deviants are the same people that are signing up for everyone's OnlyFans. I mean,
Yes.
come on,
100%.
people. It's like,
Yes.
stop giving me this shit that you're some prurient little Bible Baptist kid who doesn't, oh no, Madonna, dirty. Shame on you. That is
there's
not
also
true.
to what Liberty was saying about it. There's also the envy that she, being who she is, where she is in life, is doing that still in fashion magazines and art magazines, and these other people are just doing it on their Twitter with 50 followers, right? You know,
and she laughs all the way to the bank because baby is making that money.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to watch certain parts of Twitter and like that have the same reaction to Beyonce's recent success, and I'm like, oh wow, so she at 40 is starting to experience some of those same reactions, and it parallels what we saw Madonna start to go through in the late 90s, which is crazy to think that she turned 40 that long ago. Oh my God. But yeah, and I'm like, wow, it just doesn't change. Like, why with all the technology and the knowledge that we have, do we not move forward on these matters that I just don't get it.
I always think it's because Madonna's a woman and that she's being treated completely unfairly compared to her male counterparts. If, Harry Styles was on the cover of Paper Magazine, seen in a group orgy, licking or this, that, people would be like, yay, Harry Styles. I love
Lick me, Harry.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right.
Whereas Madonna, if she kisses a woman, when she kissed Tokischa on stage, or if she's kissing a woman at her birthday party in Italy, people get their knickers in a twist because they're like, oh, how dare she? Why is she making out with a woman? Where it's like Harry Styles was just in Cannes at the film or the Venice Film Festival the other day, and he kissed his male co-star, and people were like, we love it.
Bad Bunny, it's fine. No worries. We're good. It's okay.
Exactly.
It's like you get a little whisper here and there, but it's Madonna does it, and it's like repost. Everybody's got to say something about it. And I'm telling you what, and this is just, I'm going to get just slightly political. Please forgive me.
Oh dear. Hang on.
But
please note, listeners, thoughts and viewpoints shared by our co-hosts are not
representative of Madonna or MLVC Incorporated.
Oh no, I have a feeling Madonna is about to give you a Pelosi clap and a half. Go for it.
I'm just saying, the United States needs to watch out. They are serious. This puritanical tirade on women is really unfortunate. And worse than that, it's from women. And that is what is so astounding. Like, get your panties out of your, coochie and let loose a little bit. Let people live their life, because if I'm not hurting you, and I know that, you two understand this. If what you are doing is giving you joy and you're able to give back to the world in a positive way, what do you care what I do? Just, let
Absolutely.
it go. And, maybe
exactly. keep your religion out of my life.
And put your panties in the sink and wash them like Louise.
Yes, wash them.
Just like she did.
Dip your finger in that cat food. I know it's not cat food. Somebody told me.
Drunk by 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Speaking of Paper Magazine, did you all see that spread? I thought those photos were fantastic. Fantastic. Ricardo, thank you. I don't know if he listens to the show, but if some Madonna intern is forced to listen to our show to hear what we say about her, tell Ricardo that we appreciate everything he does for us as fans, because those photos were wonderful. Pink Donna was back, and I was like, why couldn't I get an invite to this party? I want to be at this little club dancing with this, wearing fantastic clothes.
That's what the Finally Enough Love release party should have been, right? This whole roller rink.
Get me off the roller skates. Put me in. Let me lick a hot 24-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, let's all just lick hot 24-year-olds. My goodness. The world needs more of that.
I am not averse to it.
Speaking of hot 24-year-olds, I know we don't like to usually go down the boyfriend route, but have we all seen Madonna's hot new boyfriend?
Indeed.
We have.
Andrew Darnell, I think his name is. He's a model. Good for him. Must be living the life now that he's on Madonna's arm. But he's a.
Yeah,
I think she's upgraded, kids. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. He looks
cheekbones
more
for days. I was like, give it, honey, give it.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is like he always kind of seems like he's having, like in the photos anyway, right? He looks like he's having a good time.
He's giving
and I
good
haven't
face,
seen
that's
that
for
in
sure.
a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
former boyfriend, he didn't look so.
He looked
you know,
miserable.
yeah, but maybe that's the look, right? The sort of RBF like I have sometimes.
No idea.
Oh, resting bitch face. I was like, what? RBF? Stop
resting
using those little kitty terms. I don't understand them.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
I'm not
sorry.
down on that lingo, Liberty, you know.
Well, you got to be a school teacher to get all the goods.
Apparently.
That
Was
is
there anything
too
else
funny.
that Madonna's done that I didn't think of?
Yeah, we mentioned that she went to that concert and looked amazing.
Yes, she did.
She promoted Lourdes' song. Finally enough, Lourdes.
Yeah.
Let Lola be Lola.
I almost brought her up regarding the eyebrows thing, just because, you know,
Lourdes would never.
They gave her so much shit for having her, you know, natural eyebrows when she was a little girl. She was a child.
I remember that. The Testino photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fans were so like, oh my gosh, her eyebrows. Like, let's get a little bit of a. Back then, it was like threading, I think, was the big thing.
Yeah.
Everyone feels the need to chime in on what people should and shouldn't do. I don't
really
understand. It's a very bad culture that we live in these days.
It's always been like that. The internet has just amplified it.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has.
I mean, it is what it is. You find what you can to enjoy from it, and you just do your thing. That's what, to me, Twitter is like, ooh, what's all this cool Madonna stuff? Like, I don't know if somebody did a big post on Twitter this week. It was like a 50-post thread with behind the scenes outtake videos and photos from the Bad Girl video shoot.
Wow.
And did like side by sides. Oh, I wish I could find. It'll be in my likes, so I can find it back. So I'll forward it to you. It was absolutely stunning. I was just like, all the thought that was put into that, and then just sort of thinking back to that video, which I hadn't thought about for a while. But someone was bringing it up because they were like, oh, you know, the greatest hits, yada, yada. But here's something that wasn't on that you can really appreciate if you like film. And because then that made me go and look at the Saturday Night Live performances of Bad Girl and Fever with that band that she never performed with any other time. Oh my gosh, that band was good.
Fight the real enemy. And then she tore up the picture of Joey Buttafuoco.
That was too much.
Good times, Madonna. Good times.
It's so wild to think how, like, that was very, like Sinead O'Connor really kind of was, like, offended, right, about that?
Yes, she got offended. Yeah.
I forget how, like, big things were when they happened, when I think about them later. And then I start to realize, like, wow, that was, like, a whole thing, and people were really upset about it, and it was on the, like, not the news, but probably, like,
I feel like people were more upset over Madonna ripping up a picture of Joey Buttafuoco than they were of Sinead O'Connor ripping up a picture of the Pope.
Yeah, for sure. But again, it's just because Madonna did it. Just exactly. Madonna. That's it. If she had ripped up a picture of a Pope, I mean, come on.
Those are good performances, though. Revisit those performances on a side note. Just like
and the blonde eyebrows sparkle in those 30 Rock lights at the studio. You're just like, oh, she just looks so interesting.
That hair is gorgeous. The center part with the way it just
layers,
waved.
The wavy layers.
So
that was a look.
Good. And again, just goes to show how time can change your opinion of things. I remember when she did Fever that night, I was so annoyed that she didn't dance. I wanted choreo, and she was just standing there, not doing anything. And I'm like, Madonna, how could you not do choreo? Now I watch it and I'm like, it was just
flawless.
Perfection. It was perfection.
Flawless.
I like that it was little movements. You know, it was instead everyone's always expecting her to be this big dancer. And here she is in her prime and she's not dancing. It's like the restraint that she showed is what made it more powerful in my mind.
Yeah.
But
well, also, she hits that one big note 2/3 of the way through, and she cannot stop smiling for the rest of the performance until she gets to the end with the "What a Lovely Way to Burn," you know, the fade out. And it was just like they were having so much fun, and it was so much. And that was the same feeling to tie it all back together that you get from the 50 questions video. That sense of, this is so fun. And it's both transgressive and subversive at the same time. But it's all about just this joy of both being in the moment and creating a feeling and energy and just wonderful. It's the same feeling. So it's there 30 years later.
Sentiment.
It's still there.
Yeah. She's the best at what she does, really.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? We're just going to end it on that sentiment because I don't think we can go any better than that. So thank you, Benjamin.
You're most welcome.
That is our show for today, everyone. I want to thank Liberty and Ben for joining me for a fun and rousing, eyebrowless This Week in Ciccone. Remember, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at MLVC Podcast. Please, if you want, donate to the podcast. We're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast, or think about becoming a subscriber on Patreon, patreon.podbean.com/MLVC Podcast. Until next time, you two have a lovely evening. I expect some fantastic hairstyles next time we see each other.
Yes, I'm
We'll
gonna
see what we can do.
bleach my microbladed brows and shave one side of my head.
Maybe I'll get like a center blonde wisp of curl. That's
Ooh,
like
yes.
a prayer. Maybe
like
I'll
a
do
prayer.
that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Like a prayer commercial.
Yes. Go ahead. Make a wish.
All right, see you too.
Bye.